we have a privacy contract with, I don't know what's going down below here, what's going on. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Do we have any, yeah. Do we have any new people here?
Hey, I'm new. I'm Will. Thanks for
Will?
having me.
Nice to meet you, Will.
Hi, I'm new. John. Glad to
John?
be- Yep.
Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's just put out a simple, explain a little bit of the idea that the talk is based on. So there's a topic called non-duality, which is really a negation of duality. Now, so it'd be probably wise to sort of get a sense of what duality means to you and see if it's close to the definition. But let's just say non is not, duality is two. So the root of the duality is the subject-object sense of our experience, how we feel or what we're based on. So again, we're using a language. It's not what we're based on, it's what we're not is based on, but yeah. So there's a feeling of being the doer, that would be the subject. And then there's being observed as the doer, as an object. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes. Well, I'm going to give up that task and just let's get on to the questions and then we'll just riff from there. Yeah. I can't hear you, Jacob.
Do anybody have any questions for Paul? I don't see any hands up as of yet. Paul, I have a question to
You've been muted.
I'm muted again.
There you go.
No. We're going to have an automatic muting of everyone who asks a question.
Yeah,
gonna
it seems everybody that comes in is unmuted as of now.
All right. So what's the question?
I came across this idea, like considering the manifestations of self, I came across this idea from a guy, J.G. Bennett, who qualifies the self in like four different ways.
You're coming in and out, so.
Oh, all right. Pardon. Yeah, maybe I'll give it up for somebody else to ask a question if I'm coming in.
Jacob,
Yep.
I think that you're going in and out because a lot of people are not muted. Carrie's not muted. I'm not muted. Mike is not muted. There are a lot of people that are.
I'm muting myself now.
That could be a problem. I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Is that better?
Yes.
All right. Pardon. I came across an idea or a lens to view the self through, where it's qualified as in four different ways. The material self, or like the body, what's like the reactionary self, the divided self, and then the true self, which in my meditation on it is probably no self.
Yeah.
And that's helped me to see the common manifestations of self some. Yeah, we have, I mean, more often than not, I think with this message in my life, the times in which self manifests is accentuated because between the quiets, right? It seems like it's louder now, but it's reactionary. But then also sometimes like it's hard to identify whether or not, like, what's the viewing, like if the divided self has any viewing, or I don't know. I guess do you see how would you qualify self-manifesting in various ways? I know it's different for each person, but
Well, the thing is, I don't really believe that self manifests in different ways. There's manifestations that are claimed that imply a self. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a little different, because when we say self manifested in various ways, it sounds like there's something called self. Yes.
Right.
As if it's a real condition that has different manifestation. Yeah.
Yep.
But self is none other than us entertaining idea. So we're unity of the manifestation, and it could arrive at seemingly through the verb of claiming or selfing. Today. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, so if you really want to see it, there is no self. So, and it's not that you, there's never been a self. There's selfing. There's an activity that implies there is one, and there's gonna be one. Yeah, and there was one. And it actually implies there is one by implying there was one and there's gonna be one. So to establish self and then go into categories of self, to me, misses a certain point. Yeah, because I don't see there's a thing called self. Yeah, I think it's entertained by listening and believing and not really having any other possibilities other than what selfing implies or offers. Yeah. So when we feel like a self, we feel like a historical self. Yeah. We feel like I have been a long-lasting, independent, separate thing, and I'm gonna be a long-lasting, independent, separate thing, and therefore I am a long-lasting, independent, separate thing now. It doesn't arrive from its own fact. It's implied. Yeah. So if you listen to the head, just see it, because there's a lot there. There's a huge assumption that most of the language is based on, and that assumption is where the where the center of the whole system. This idea of being a thing, and not only a thing, but a thing that has the attributes of no thing. So we're seeing as a seer, when that's not true. They're seeing, the seeing is claimed by the mental activity to imply a seer. Yeah. But how seeing gets translated when we are the seer is I'm looking. Yeah. So that's a bastardization of something, yes? And the bastardization just keeps reinforcing the assumption that you're the seer. So all day there's seeing, and all day the seeing is used to imply the seer, there would something has to be happening to imply something that's not happening. Yeah. So there would be no implying. If what's not happening can't imply itself, so to speak. Yes. So there's an implying of what's not happening, and then that gets seemingly established, and it's reinforced by a narrative. And then as the day goes on, the mental state claims all the events of seeing to imply the seer. And not only that, it emphasizes the seer way beyond the seeing. Yeah. So now the seer and seen become the dominant theme of the narrative. That's duality. Yeah. When they're seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, that's not duality. So what non-duality is a negation of the duality. Yeah. Because its assumption is you are what you're looking for. Yeah? So we don't turn away from duality and now start looking for the non-duality. We are non-dual in a sense. We are what that statement is pointing at. Yes? That's the assumption. Now, if you don't agree with that assumption and you're really hell-bent believing there's something else, then you're shopping at the wrong store in a way. Yeah? So the assumption is, let's say the assumption when I walk into a barber shop is that I'm there to get a haircut. Obviously, it's not a huge leap, you know. Usually people don't just go into barber shops unless they're going to get a shave or a haircut. So this assumption of non-duality is we're going to question duality. Yeah. Why? Because we already are what we're looking for. So we have to see why that's not obvious. Yeah. Because there has to be activities that what we are is entertaining to block the fact of what we are from seemingly from what we are. I mean, there's got to be something going on. Yeah. Like, and so instead of trying to describe the indescribable and get us to realize we're that, we're going to describe the describable and get us to realize we're not that. That's the direction of these meetings. Yeah. They're distinctly different than some other meetings because we're not trying to paint a picture of what we are. We're just taking like a police, artist's composite drawing of the fucking thief. And we're presenting it to you so that you see, hey, you're the fucking thief and therefore you're not, in a way. Yes? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of warnings that are necessary because the system can get up from getting knocked down. It just regroups. It's sort of like if you break a thermostat and the mercury goes all, in a second, it all comes back. Yeah, because it just regroups. Well, the selfing regroups. When it gets stunned or paused, it regroups and claims to be the one that was there in the pause. Yeah, it just keeps claiming and claiming and claiming. So whenever and while life is going on, it's going to be claiming. It's mechanical. It's not volition. You're not doing it. Yes? You're not doing it. You're not choosing to do it. It's mechanical. So when it's brought into contact with something, not through its own devices, but through consciousness, let's say, yeah, the mental state claims that which it comes in contact with and uses it to imply that it's the subject. Somehow Paul gets reborn every moment of the claiming, yeah, because it's never there. So it has to constantly be reborn because it's not there. Yes. Yeah. So if you had two distinct things and you wanted them to look like they're one, yeah, then you'd have to speed it up so that they could seem like they're one. When you see it, you see never the two shall meet. You just see it. You see duality and you see that you're the seeing of it. Yeah. And you're not encompassed or entrapped in a body. None of that's going on. That's all dreaming. You are and will be and were what you are. And whatever goes on here doesn't leave a mark on that. And that's the assurance that starts arising in you, so that you can sort of sit tight when your head tells you you're like 8 miles away, or you're really screwed, or you're entering a depression, or you're you're a fraud, you're a loser. You just sit tight when all of these things are going on, and you don't go, yes, you don't go down, you don't hunt that trail, because you know it doesn't lead anywhere. Yeah. And so what you are has never moved. And a little bit of that becomes available seemingly to Jacob, seemingly to where Paul is, but it's not of Paul, and it's not from Paul. It's of what we are, from what we are. Expressing and manifesting, just like we talk about self manifests through us, this idea, well, this what we are manifests through us also. Yeah. And after a while, you can tell the tree by its fruits, and you realize, hey, I'm sitting on a new tree. I'm sitting under a new tree because the fruits are a lot different than when I was in, let's say, active addiction, or when I was being driven by the thought system. Yeah. Yeah. And so you're onto something. And what verifies it is relief. Yeah. You get relief from the bondage of self. And the bondage of self is having faith in selfing, really. That's the bondage of self. Yeah. When you believe that the seeing is just something the seer is doing, yeah. When you believe the hearing is just something the hearer is doing, yeah, then you're in the act of being bound to self, yeah. Hopefully you hear the message of non-duality, and what non-duality does is negates that assumption, all of those assumptions. It questions them, yeah. And then you see you've been living in a house of cards, yes. Yes. You're now not beholden to that address anymore. So, and then blue will be blue. You'll see things clearly. Yeah. And I don't feel like I don't believe you'll spend any time looking for what can't be found, because it couldn't have been lost, really. You are that. Yeah. I mean, but we arrive there because we already are there through negation, not through affirmation. That hasn't worked. Yeah. You can talk to your blue in the face that you're a lion talking to another lion, but if the sheep programming is there, it's going to claim to be the hearer of the message and turn the message into I can become like a lion. That's not the message. The message is already are what you're looking for. It doesn't say, all right, you will be what you're looking for after you go through 50 fucking Herculean tests or purification sessions. No, it says right now, what's looking is what you're looking for. Yeah. It doesn't send like a 50-page requirements necessary, does it? Not. Yeah. I never left a meeting of non-duality with a to-do list. I never did. I never got a list of what I need to do. All I got was a living question mark of being the doer, really. That was what was under question. Is don't worry about the doing. Let's see if there's a doer. Let's see if in fact you are the doer of these actions. Yeah. And then if you just take a few minutes, it's not a lifelong investigation. It doesn't take long to see the fallacy of what we've been believing. Yeah. It doesn't hold up to scrutiny for long. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems that no need to categorize the self, there is no self. So yeah,
And if
start
it
that.
helps
There's
you,
no
the
selfie.
whole
Yeah,
point is if it helps you.
yeah,
And the thing is, if it helps you, its expiration date will come, and then it's
Mhm.
not necessary anymore because
Sure.
you are what you're looking for. An understanding of self is not what you're looking for. It's
Mhm.
you. What's looking is what you're looking for. Yeah. It's not what's looking with a new understanding. No, it's what's looking. Our inherent condition, no added and no subtracting of it yet, is that. Yeah. So here, a lot of things can help us. Yeah. They can help us, let's say, October 2019, but they'll be useless to us maybe 2021. Yeah, because we give it the meaning. Yeah. So some people can wake up from reading a phone book. Yeah. Some people study scriptures for 50 years and nothing happens. So it's what's before everything, which is us, is what gives the meaning to things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say what you are wants to dream itself out of this dreaming. Well, it gets 4 categories of self. It uses that to dream itself out of the dreaming. Then it moves to a simpler one, 2 categories of self. And then it gets to a simpler one, 1 category of self. And then it hits the pay dirt, no category of self.
Yeah.
Each one had value. Yeah, each one had value. And then that value expired because it was you, not that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and after a while, then everything is of value. Yeah, everything. It's not so much this doesn't work and that works. Basically, nothing works. Nothing is the greatest working. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing never runs out of gas. Nothing is keeps on giving, so to speak. Yeah. So whatever works helps people is great. The thing to do though is to know when it's reached its expiration date, and then maybe a moving on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that thing that was at one time helpful becomes added weight, and it's unnecessary. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
We have a question from Phil Pratt. To you now, Phil. About to ask you to unmute. Where are you at? Oh, right here. And asking you to unmute now.
He's refusing to unmute.
Did you get it?
I feel mute.
We heard you.
Hi, everyone.
Phil.
I just want to say how much I love coming in here, and even though it sort of squares on a screen, it really is this feeling of great affection and community. It's a weird kind of, even though I'm sort of over here in Australia, it just feels like there's this global kind of connection that's so special. And obviously, Paul, I just love your work so much. I mean, there's no one else like you who says what you say. I guess what my question really is about after some sort of asked after some perspective, in that there is definitely traveling lighter, you know, and that's, as you say, it's in the proof of the fruit from the tree. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But in my life, the traveling lighter comes interface with the traveling heavy, and it's like stepping on the devil's tail. It's become like this, almost like this this great challenge, you know, of integrating traveling light with traveling heavy, it seemed to manifest as a kind of disengagement and as a kind of indifference in a intimate kind of interface. And it's kind of like, it's a dilemma that I just don't know how to look at, you know, because there is a kind of, there's a loss of, I can't even remember what it was like to be traveling heavy, you know, so I have no reference to offer any kind of explanation or any kind of involvement or even relationship. So, and this kind of indifference is true. I mean, it is a kind of, there seems to be a lack of, it seems to be almost like a lack of care, you know, a lack of, nothing is triggered, nothing is you know, before I would rely on my emotional kind of involvement in things, and that's kind of almost flattened out. It's kind of like, it is like a flatline thing, and it's, while it's okay, it's also not okay. It's hard to explain it. It's yeah, it's kind of like, it really, it doesn't matter in one sense, but it does matter in another. And yeah, I'm sort of caught between that kind of dilemma.
But you're not caught between.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
This is yeah. This is I've seen it many times. It's a polarizing pattern that remember in the Middle Ages, they had that torture where they put you on a rack and they pull you, like, try to pull you apart. That's what the head does. The head talks about a polarity and then suddenly implies you're on one end and the other end getting pulled. It's not true. So yeah. If it gets a little too much, just think of the idea of service and do something else. Yeah, just a simple get out of oneself, get out of self by taking an action, not by reading or philosophizing, but just help someone, not a family member, because there's usually too many bonding patterns in that. But, you know, it's like you know, just fucking donate money to the soup kitchen or go there and better serve. And then see all this incredible polarization will be forgotten like that.
Yeah.
It really will. Because the thing is, selfing is like a stink you're not going to wash off. Yeah. As long as you're there, it's going to be producing this little smell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what it wants you to do is take a whiff of it and through the familiarity become the chef, so to speak. Yeah. Or take yourself. And you know, even when that succeeds, you're not that. So it's just a matter of just, you know, let's say you're in the theater and you're in a seat, yeah? That seat isn't bolted down. You can move back. Yeah. You can go, yeah, you can go more into the context than the content. You can, yeah? Get into the habit of leaning that way, so to speak. Yeah. Because you can see it. The head is, it's like a salesman who wants to sell you a vacuum cleaner, yet you have no rugs in your house. Yeah. So it just goes to the side door, the back door, starts talking about the, you know, the different nozzles, but you don't need a fucking vacuum cleaner. So it just wants to engage a little of you to have a sense of Philip shadowing the whole thing. Yeah. It's going to keep doing that. But why do you don't have to sign up for the story. The story will continue, but you don't have to sign up, bro. Yeah. And so you won't be torn between the poles. Yeah. You just take it, you'll just travel lighter through it. And maybe when you're feeling like that, just go out and help someone else, you know, do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those little, those are easily derailed by a simple action. You don't have to get into why and get into the diagnosis of it. Just, you know, turn the train off the track, and
I guess it becomes more kind of more in my face when it's dealing with love and intimate relationships, you know, and that's that.
Well, join the crowd. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But again, that's not you either.
No.
That's the good news. How you travel lighter as you is not being that you. That's how you do it. I mean, people for years have been selling skillful means. Yeah. And it really, it's sort of like AA recovery is an incredible program. It's just that there's people in it. Yeah. People fuck everything up because you're really a determining factor. You are. You know, you get a good day, you still see it sucks. Yeah. You override a lot of shit. Now, man, you have to. And that activity is very fickle. It will, it will start spinning out, doing, and then you feel like you're dragged for the ride. You don't. At first, you thought you were going to enjoy the trip, but now you feel like you're dragged. But there's no, bro. I'm telling you, personally and impersonally, no matter how real it feels, it ain't real. Yeah. Humbly. And if it feels so real, do something, you know, just help somebody or fucking watch. Why do you think they have made up Netflix? Yeah. Just binge watch Bloodline or something like that. You'll lose the track of the whole thing. Or jump in cold water. You're right near the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast. Jump in that freaking water. You'll forget everything. Yeah, it's that shit's not hanging around. It's you. Yeah. So when you get shocked, all the shit that you were attracting it leaves the orbit. It's the gravity of Phil. Yeah, pulling things in, giving them meaning, almost looking at it's like your starry sky. You know, you don't realize the role the mental state has. Yeah, when things seem to be coming at us, it's more because of gravity pulling them in, not that they're personally attacking us. Yeah. So we want to have that interest attention to be shipped or to be shifted out of like an obsessive focus in more to a panoramic view, and that which is the obsessive focus can't do it. Yeah. You can't get out of self as self. You can't set out on a course as self to lose interest in self. That would be interest in self. You can't do it. Yeah. That's the great news. You can't do it. Yeah. Hallelujah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The failed system has been barking up your tree for so long to inform you it's failed. Yeah. That's its value. It's failed. Yeah. So you're going, this happens to everyone because there's a lot of interest in shit, and then the interest gets taken back and redistributed, and then you're feeling there's something wrong in being indifferent. There's nothing wrong with indifference. I can be completely indifferent and hold space for people. I can be completely indifferent and have a lot of love come through. I can. Indifferent or neutrality is unbelievable. It's an incredible space. Yeah. It allows a lot of stuff to come in, and it doesn't allow the comet tail to be, attached to it. You don't take ownership of shit because you're indifferent. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that space. I've been in indifference for years, 20 freaking years, more. I don't know how long. Basically, you know what I mean? You don't need to be interested in to show up. There's just the showing up, because you cannot not show up. You're always here. Yeah.
Yeah, the mental state's still telling me that indifference is bad, which is interesting.
I know, of course it is. And then it says, and difference is good. But then if it was indifference, it would be bad, and indifference would be great. It just doesn't have any, there's no validity to the story. It just jumps around points. Yeah. It has no idea what's behind indifference. What's behind indifference is vast. Huge. Tons of possibilities can come through that hole. Tons of possibilities. Yeah. I mean, the most scary people are the people who want to fucking help. You got to watch out for those motherfuckers. Because a lot of times there's an agenda. I much rather first have someone who responds to shit happening, and just because it's not right. Not that they're not like the crusader.
There's plenty of that about.
I bet you a lot of those people who are missionaries, they never had a day of indifference when they were destroying the Mayans and the fucking Aztecs and shit. They were completely interested in turning them into Christians or something. Look at how that worked.
Yeah, that's right.
Give me indifference every day. They'll stay home. They won't invade where I live. Yeah, so you're going well, bro. Remember, you had a beautiful statement, then the world started with but. Let's go back before but. What were we before but? That's the beauty.
Yeah.
What were we? What are we before but? Wow. We're a field of a lot of possibility, but. All right, bro. I'm happy to see you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just keep hanging out with us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks, Phil. We now have a question from Chris L. Chris, I'm asking you to unmute.
Chris L.
I've been reading.
Oh, Chris L. How are you?
Good, man. I'm reading your Under Arrest, and I read something in there that I've heard you say before in some of these talks. I missed the talk today, man. I'm late today. I'm sorry. I was out running around trying to catch it, but I do have a question though, and it has to do with a statement that I've heard you make before, not just in the book, but it has to do with the body, where you said something like, and I don't have it in front of me, I should have grabbed it, but identification being the problem, or the selfing causes the identification, and then in parentheses it says body, or like as identification is a thing, and then in parentheses body. And so my question is, are you saying body is not a thing, or are you saying that the identification is just as the body?
Well, that's a trippy thing.
I got stuck right there. I didn't know.
I'm a believer in how Ramana states it, which is the body is appearing in mind, big mind, yeah? So dreaming. So all the things are dreaming. So are they really things? No, yeah? But let's say, how I see the body from the selfing's point of view, the selfing uses the body to represent all the attributes the selfing has claimed, yeah? So when it says you're the seer, you're pictured as a body, yeah? when it says you're the hearer, it's pictured as a body. Definitely when it says you're the doer, it's pictured as a body. So this activity, so the body has a huge role in this identification as a self, this feeling of being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity, and that separate entity is pictured as a body. Yes, yeah. So, but I have a lot of opinions about it. Yeah, if whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving, then obviously I'm not a body because I feel I'm the perceiving. Yes.
Mhm.
So it gets a little tricky there. So, and this great master said, whatever can be perceived, which is this body can't be perceiving, that goes completely against the narrative I listen to every day in the head.
Yeah,
The
that's not
narrative-
necessarily that's not necessarily confusing. Like the perceiving. I mean, what happened here is it seems like what happened is that there's just been a big jump back in observation, as if like a sort of new summit has been revealed or something. It's just not that it wasn't before, but
yeah,
but all of a sudden when you're talking about selfing, that's something that can be observed and noticed, and it is. It's not that the attention doesn't get wrapped up in it every once in a while, but I do notice it doesn't get wrapped up in it as much as it did. A lot of things get questioned that previously weren't being questioned before, as far as thinking goes. But I did a little bit of, like, when I first got involved in this stuff, I got directed to go to this Liberation Unleashed thing, and they basically just kind of point out that everything is labeled arbitrarily, through conditioning. So we have words for everything, but it doesn't necessarily prove that anything is separate from the next. So I guess when I'm asking about the body, it's just a sticking point. It's always right here, and
yeah. The thing with that, though, the identification as the body is probably the aspect of the head that's identified as the body is what's keenly interested in this topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just see you're not that, really.
Yeah.
See, I had a perfect example of it once we were in Dublin, or Dublin as they say, and it was the end of this retreat I was like a guest speaker at. So people from outside of the retreat could come the last day. And so this guy came in and he had been listening to us, and he said, it sounds so easy when you say you're not a body, but to me, it seems impossible. And I said, yeah, when you're coming from the body, it seems impossible not to be a body. Yes, of course. It was a perfect illustration of what we're talking about. Yeah. So what wants to get out of the body is the identification as the body. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It seems like there's levels to this stuff.
That which wants the truth to stabilize is coming from the agitation of the head. Yeah. So we see what we're not, and in the seeing of what we're not, a lot of stuff gets clear. Yeah. And a lot of our greatest wishes don't come from us. It comes from what we're not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like what's happening is there's a more subtle identification.
Of course, just see it, bro. If you're in the train, you're going to the destination. It doesn't matter what you think or do. And as you go by, you'll see some scenery, and the scenery will change, and you can report back, and yeah, but you're in good hands. So,
cool.
And you'll lose interest. See, I wish I could tell you from my own little observation over the years. You have no idea. We don't have an idea of how interest and attention is distributed. Yeah. There is a large amount of interest and attention rooted in this identification and as this point. Yeah. And a lot of the times we want to leave that, it's as that. Yeah. Captured by the great statement, self can't get out of self. I can't count the times where I caught what I'm not implying it's what I am. I mean, it's for me, it happened about 7 times. And then there was like the 100 monkey phenomenon. The head just got something. Yeah. Because I would hear satsang and the aperture would open a little, but there was a claiming of the opening of the aperture, and I wasn't noticing that. Then I would notice it. Then the aperture would open more. There'd be a claiming of being the one who was at that aperture. Then I noticed that, and then it went about 5 or 6 times, and then I didn't need to notice it anymore. I just saw it, and it had a little leap of this thing is mechanical. Wherever I am, there's going to be a voice that says I'm here. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't, I don't know, maybe at the point of death it will stop, but I haven't seen it. And it can be muted, and then as soon as it comes back on the airwaves, it claims to be the one who had the epiphany. It's just mind-boggling. The mechanicalness is very, very stubborn. So if you're here and there's time going on, it's going to show up, yeah, and say that it was the one. So just get used to it and see it. Yeah, after a while, seeing it as not you, you don't have to keep seeing it as not you. It's not you. Yeah, it's just, it becomes clear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So.
Yeah, you answered my question. That seems exactly like what's happening.
Yeah, good. Well,
I can say for sure there's more clarity because I can read this stuff. I can read I am that, and it's not Chinese.
Yes, exactly. And so in this seat, we don't want you to buckle up. We want to keep, you want to keep the buckles unbuckled. You don't need a safety belt. Yeah, you're in good hands. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Keep coming back.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. As of now, we have no other hands up.
That's a nice as of now.
Would anyone else like to ask a question to Paul, or Paul, do you want to say anything else?
Let's see.
Hey, Paul, how are you? It's Eric. How you doing?
Good, good.
I was actually on, yeah, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. I was actually on a run this morning, and I thought about how you continuously keep saying that that our mind is living in this body, and whether I'm in the past or the future, my mind takes me into the body. Like I'm not there mentally. Like, and then I think about how I can't really remember too much in those times of my life, really, right? I can only remember the body being in those places,
yeah,
right? From the past, at least, right? So it's a little bit more of awakening to that, like what you're talking about. That came to me this morning as I was running, and it just makes sense. Like, yeah, like I'm here right now. I'm at this moment, I'm here, right? I don't remember too much of my past. I have glimpses or flashes of things, but I don't have full memories of where I was at, who I was talking with, feelings, what I was thinking about in those times. It's all past, right? So I don't know. I like that analogy, and I just keep trying to, just try to remember that I'm not of that, right? I'm not of that.
Well, this is what happens, let's say, when people go back out drinking and using. They can't do it justice when they're not drinking and using. Yeah, they can picture their body back there, but they don't get the exquisite suffering that may have been occurring. And then they go back out and they're surprised when it gets really bad because they're actually in it again. Yeah. So the memories are basically just to reinforce the identification as the body. Yes, obviously. And most people's memories, really, if they were matched to other people's memories of the same thing, they both would be put into question. Yeah. Really, it's not very factual evidence. So
I have a hard time remembering anything, never mind.
Yeah, and so basically the past is only happening now, obviously, and the future only happens now. Nothing breaks the bank of here and now. Yeah, no matter how far we go into the future, it's still defined by here and now. Yes, no matter how far back we go in the past, it's defined by here and now. Nothing can be entertained in the past, but the past can be entertained now. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's the true living of this event. Yeah. But see, the mental state doesn't really, it has an interpretation of the event of living. Yeah. So it can have an idea of what it was like when I was living back then and what it's going to be like when I will be living, but it can't do it justice because living is a many splendid thing. Yeah, the moment to moment, how could you capture that? Yeah. But if to capture it, it's sort of like, it's almost like, to capture something, you got to cut off its arms and legs, its ears, its nose. It's barely recognized anymore. You can't recognize it. It's sort of like getting the glass of water from the Colorado River, but you miss the biggest part of it, which is the rivering. Yeah, you're just stuck with a stagnant glass of water. So living is something that's impossible to describe truly. You can only describe it in the living of it. Yeah, in my feeling. Yeah, I cannot believe sometimes how fucked people are. Yeah, I look at them and I have no idea what's going on in that porno theater upstairs or wherever you want to call it. It's mind-boggling. Yeah. The mental state is dreaming away, and it's dreaming a lot about what's not happening. And it's making a lot, it's putting so much weight into what's not happening. We travel heavy now because we're enslaved to what's not happening. Yeah. It's insane. You're not going to get out of Eric as Eric. Yeah. The relief is seeing you're not in Eric. Yeah. That's how Eric travels lighter. Yeah. if Eric was doing something to travel lighter, he'd screw it up. But it's traveling lighter is doing Eric, really. Yeah. Thank God. Truly. Yeah. So, yeah, just stick with us, bro.
I am. I'm not going anywhere.
Good.
This is my seat assignment.
Oh, good, good. Yeah. It's turned into a bus. It's nice. Yeah.
I like it. I'm just gonna sit back and watch the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
I like listening to other people as well. It helps a lot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of nice characters here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So Paul, we have a question from a newcomer. He has to ask a question. He doesn't have video. Give him a shot. I think he's gonna put his video on when it, yeah. So let me find him here. It's James.
I have the video on, right?
I see him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's I see him now. How are you,
All right,
James?
good.
Hi, Paul. I'm well, thank you. Paul, so until a couple of days ago, I didn't know about you. I just stumbled into your video, I think in Tom with the weather interview.
Hey, hold on, James. We have a lot of echo there. Do you guys hear it?
I hear it. It sounds almost like a voice, some type of voice filter in a weird way.
All right, go ahead. We'll try to decipher what you say. So yeah, you've just been here a couple days. Just heard about us.
That's correct. That's correct. Had it been a different circumstance, I probably would have, no disrespect, I would have turned your video off because of all the language that you use, but something attracted me. And I watched, I think, one other video of yours, half of it. So my story is that over the last couple of decades, I seem to move from one group to another every few years. And this is the first time I'm in front of somebody speaking and introducing myself. So your words, I mean, I found it very attractive. I've read the books of Ramana.
I can't really hear it well, Jacob.
Yeah, neither can I.
Okay.
Voice is coming through very filtered, Jim.
Let me do some troubleshooting and then come back in a couple of minutes. Yeah.
You sound like Aquaman.
let me come back. Let me see.
Yeah, try turning off your video. Sometimes that helps. If you turn your video off and just talk.
Really? Okay. How about now?
No, the same.
Same. Okay.
Come back. We won't be going anywhere, so just come back if you can.
Okay.
Figure it.
Are you able to try it without the headphones?
I removed the headphone. Is it any better?
Yes,
Perfect.
yeah, better.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Good. Yes. I read some of Ramana's books, and the message that you have mentioned in the video and a half that I watched, I found it very attractive.
We're losing again. We're losing you again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
James, just come back a little while.
Okay, will do.
Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah. That's the one thing I don't like about Zoom, Usually if it was live, you could hear the person without the bubbles. Yeah. That was sounding cool though, in a way. It sounded like he was underwater with skin diving and be able to talk. Yeah, it was cool. I'm trying to get closer this way. I can't hear. All right, someone else, anyone? Hey, what does Will H have to say? Will, you've been here before?
Hey, no, this is my first time. I stumbled onto some YouTube videos like a week or two ago. And I don't have much in terms of questions, but I like this idea of the fastballs coming in and the mind wants to grab all of them, but one or two will stick. And then it'll just be like, oh, okay, I'm here. Like, I'm just right here.
Yes.
And then that kind of fades, and then I get frustrated, and then something else will stick, and okay, I'm back.
Yes, good. Yeah, you're on to it. Yeah, you're on to it. Yes, we're not really talking to you. We're trying to talk through you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I can't miss what I'm targeting. It looks like I'm missing you, but that's hitting the mark, really. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you. And
yeah, good seeing you.
Yeah. See you soon again, I hope. Or just stay here. Yeah. Who else? Jacob? We lost Jacob too. He's gone.
That's all for questions, Paul, unless anybody wants to put their hand up. We asked James to maybe type his question out, but I don't know if that's happening.
He can come back. You know, we're here. We'll be here on Wednesday and next Saturday. Yeah.
No, Jim, your voice is still Robo Man.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah. How about next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, then let's say goodbye and hello.
We just got one in from Fee.
Jesus Christ! I can never get out of here. All right.
Paul, we can do it another time.
No, I'm only joking, Pete. I'm fine.
Paul, I was reading a book the other day that my wife bought for me called Who Cares?
Oh, yeah.
And I just started it, and I think it was in the introduction or the first chapter, and he talks about the idea that thy will being done. And how I conceptualize that is that, and it freaks me out a little bit in a sense, in that, because I start to think that this is all just happening, and I don't even know if I'm in this body or not. It's just going on. Like, I don't know any. I mean, in the main, I still think I am, but I get these flashes of sort of awareness that I don't know that this consciousness is actually up here, or is it out here and it's just going on. But it's only in small snippets that I get that experience. So,
well, maybe because the system can't take any more right now. So I would call it mercy. Really, some people don't do well when the whole enchilada drops. Yeah. Seriously, they can have a psychic break and not in a good way. So thank your lucky stars. Yeah. That was one of the first books I read, Who Cares? And I went to see Ramesh Balsekar. And his theme, if I could say it, is to really question the sense of being a personal doer. Yeah. And I remember when I saw him, he asked me, to go back to wherever I was staying. This was in Bombay, and go over an event of the day and to see if there was thousands of things had to have happened for something to have happened. Yeah. That I wasn't the big mover and shaker. And it was amazing how much resistance there was with the head to do that little exercise. Really powerful. And I've noticed when I used to do talks in the beginning, anytime you start talking about the personal doership, there would be a certain energy in the room, because it's basically the main plank of the story. Because like if what you didn't do, whose life would it be anyway? Yeah. So it's very tricky. But again, it's like, in a weird way, paradise is behind the house of horrors. Yeah. You know what I mean? The head goes off, oh, no, but if you can just walk through, and there's paradise, so to speak. Yeah. So, yeah. He would always bring up this statement by, supposedly by Buddha, I felt was quite clear, which is, events happen, like this is an event, yes. Deeds are done, yet there's no individual doer thereof. So, see, a lot of people believe in the individuality that events wouldn't happen without us. Deeds wouldn't be done without me. Yeah. But in fact, events happen, deeds are done, but there's no individual doer thereof. Yeah. So we read it one way, completely different than you can hear it another way. Yeah. You hear it from self, or from the action figure, you think, no way. How can there be an event without any people there? Or how can there be a doing without a doer? Because that's the mental logic. It can't grok, it can't understand life with its absence. Yeah, it just doesn't. It's very difficult for the computer, because it's not like AI. It's not artificial intelligence. It's really programming. The programming isn't growing. It's mechanical. It just keeps on keeping on. Yeah. It's not growing. You'll see the same shit it was saying 30 years ago. It's saying the same shit now. It's not coming up with much new stuff. So yeah. So so be happy that free samples are great. The whole enchilada all at once could be a shock, a complete shock. Yeah. So yeah, I've had a lot of people I knew that they were thinking a big event was going to happen. Yeah. And that's what they were shooting for. And as soon as it started to happen, they want to abort the mission. I said, this is what you asked for. And it was happening in a restaurant. They were going off. This is what you asked for. Now you want to get out of it for years. So be happy with the free samples. Yeah. Yeah. It's all in, it's just like, do you want to get drowned by a lot of water or see the whole ocean in one drop? I'd rather maybe go see the whole ocean in one drop. It may be the easier, softer way, or the easier and softer no way. Yeah. People like wish for Kundalini. That's not something to wish for. Kundalini's quite dangerous.
What is that?
Well, it's an energy. Yeah, that's interesting. What is it? It's like, you ever see like an electric surge where it puts out the lights and shit? The electric surges, and it's more than the wiring can handle. That's sort of like what happens sometimes with a Kundalini event. It's an energetic surge in a way, and it affects your organs, or it can, your inner organs. And if you're not, if you don't have any familiarity with it, it could be completely misread. You will think like you're dying, like very strongly. Yeah. So it's not like a walk in the park for some people. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh yeah, it's all good, bro. Yeah. Read the book. I liked it. He had, you ever see that movie Magnolia with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, where the kid there's this couple, an older couple, arguing in like a tenement apartment in Brooklyn or something, and their son, teenage son, is in the bedroom, and he's obviously very bummed out. Yeah, and he starts going up the stairs, and these people always argued with this shotgun, and one of them would pick it up and point it at the other, and it'd be empty. But the son had put real bullets in the shotgun. So he goes up the stairs and he jumps off to kill himself, the top of the building. And then his mother tries to shoot the father and misses the father and goes through the window and kills him as he's going down.
Oh.
He's talking, so he didn't talk about that, but he talked about the law of probability, where all these chaotic and weird, very specifically particular things, if you see them from a higher level, there's a pattern with everything. Yes? Patterns, patterns, patterns. So there's patterns in what we see as chaos. Yes? Yeah. So it was a very interesting book. It was cool. And I like the title, Who Cares? You may live that book later on. You'll be the who that doesn't care. Talking about the indifference of Philip. Who cares? All right, Fee. Nice to see you. Yeah.
Thank you, Fee. Paul, do you feel like taking one more?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we got Julie.
Julie.
Come on in, Julie.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Paul. So
Hey,
on,
Julie.
hi.
All right.
Along those lines, like when action figure Julie is feeling heavy, there's always this confusion and this feeling like there's a destiny and that she has to attain it, or she's gonna miss it in this lifetime. And what you were just talking about with
That's your destiny, missing your destiny.
It's like the craziest shit in the fucking world. And so is that just another play? Like, it doesn't matter? Like, who cares?
I would say so, yeah.
Like, so when that thought comes up, I can just be like, whatever. And then
it would be nice to be greeted with suspicion, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. In other words, faith is what makes things so. Yeah. So we are a whole bunch of faith, really. And it's important what directs that faith, because the faith is going to manifest by the vehicle it's put in. So the mental state has directed faith to the thought system. And now a lot of people are crippled today by based on thoughts about next week. Yeah. That's all produced. That seeming effect is produced by faith. The thought didn't produce it. The thought is used to produce it. It's faith. Yeah. So it's when you hear the message, you start having a healthy suspicion to all the false evidence that has been appearing real in one's life and in one's head. And some of that stuff comes up for review. You're not going to be the reviewer. It's going to be light. Yeah. But there'll be a review for sure. Yes. And now, either quickly or slowly, you're going to see a lot of false evidence as false evidence. It won't appear real to you anymore. Yeah. 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 In other words, it will lose its weight, so to speak. Yeah. The head will arise and say it appears real to it, but it doesn't appear real to you. Yeah. What you are. Yeah. So a lot's revealed when you start recognizing the false evidence as false evidence. Yes. The faith gets moved. Yeah. Like we say in recovery, there's the faith gets moved into trusting something infinite, or trusting the infinite rather than finite self. So basically that's what happens. Yeah. A faith is moved, and then it enters a gravitational field and gets pulled, let's say, to the infinite. Yeah. You still get advertising from the failed system, but it doesn't have as much weight as it used to. It used to be able to pull you back in. Now it doesn't. Yeah. Because you're under the pull of something greater than self. Yeah. You could call it us, but whatever. You can make up a name, call it the beloved or whatever you want to, but it's not this idea of you. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't, I call wherever you are the seat assignment. Yeah. Yeah. And the seat assignment is in a space of musical chairs. So there's no, it never turns into your seat. It's just a seat assignment. You're not worthy of it. You didn't own it. You didn't acquire it. You just find yourself there. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think I've come to every Paul Hedderman meeting? Because I've never come to any Paul Hedderman meetings, ever. If I would have shown up, a lot of them would have been canceled, because I would have not been, oh, I'm not ready to share today, or I'm not feeling good, or I was mean to a kid 4 hours ago, or whatever, yeah? But because I don't see myself as the source of the message, all I got to do is show up to the Zoom, and there you go. My job's done. Yeah, because I can't control what you get. I swear to God, when people tell me what I said, it had nothing to do with what I was meaning in a lot of ways. So I just have faith in the transmission and let it do what it does. And hopefully we all get a little modicum of traveling lighter. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you're from the stars. You don't have, your target doesn't have to be the stars. You're shooting from the stars. Yeah. Your target may be less harm. You know what I mean? You know, planting some flowers today. There doesn't have to be, every moment doesn't have to have a huge meaning moving to the super great moment. It's just freaking living. Yeah. 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 We don't know we don't know the effects that are happening through us. We don't really. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to see you, hon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Paul, Jim put a question in chat.
Yeah,
Jane.
sure. Yeah.
And if I read it right, he's saying he understands the message intellectually, but he's wondering how to move from just understanding it intellectually to realizing it, or how can he stabilize it?
By admitting he can't do that. That would be a good start. By admitting he can't do it. He's not going to he's not going to speed it up or get closer to it, anything like that. Just see who is it that wants that to occur. It's not you. That's the important point. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this doesn't come after a journey. This is the point where most journeys get canceled. Yeah. This doesn't, you don't arrive here after a journey. Yeah. It's just, I mean, it has to dawn on us, really. We're all there is, not as Paul, but as, yeah, this event, yeah? If there's a great statement by the Course in Miracles, it says, you and I give everything all the meaning it has. It's a pretty interesting sentence because it has two absolutes in it. It's everything and all in one sentence. So you and I give everything all the meaning it has. That seems like a pretty big role. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's definitely way above this pay scale of Paul. So knowing that and knowing this, I'm going to humbly surrender as this to that. Yeah, it just seems the appropriate response. There's a lot of power, really, we represent. And the head is not the one to direct it. It's shown that to be true. It's a failed system, yes?
Yeah.
It's a failed system. If you want to have a simple example of a failed system, let's say if I had a furniture store and I sold couches, and every couch I sold was exactly the way I described it. It got there when I said it would be delivered, and the same price that I offered was the one I took. Yeah. Would I need any excuses, rationale, and blame? No, because I deliver the goods. Listen to the head. The head lives in rationalization, excuses, and blame because it's a failed system. Yeah. It's not up for the task. It just ain't. So recognizing that, to me, see, what we are is always realized, but there are realizations about what we're not. Yeah. And so you realize all these things about what you're not, which is, it can't get it. It can't get what it is. It's impossible. It doesn't, you know, it's not artificial intelligence, it's programming. It's limited, severely limited. And it can't get out of itself as itself. Yeah. Yet that's its complete drive all day. It's truly trying to get out of me as me. So there's recognitions of this stuff. And of course, a lot of movement and agitation stops and you get to see it. Yeah. And maybe now the agitation doesn't agitate as much or moves in another direction and things change because we are the turning point. We're not at a turning point. We are the turning point. Yeah. We are really the problem and the solution. We are that. Yeah. We are the alpha and the omega, and of course, neither. But in a sense, we are that. Yeah. So recognizing the futility of me trying to find what I never lost is awesome. I mean, it's complete. It's a liberation from the need to be liberated. It's awesome. I couldn't recommend it higher, really. It's just awesome. So, yeah, I have faith in the message. It's entertained me. I got relief. And if you knew Paul Hedderman before, Paul Hedderman was, you know, from the island of broken toys, or whatever. Paul Hedderman was not capable of living life on life's terms. Yeah. He had too many screaming things inside. And those things being directed by the head was like a huge dog whistle to people in uniform. So I attracted a lot of consequences and a lot of arrests in this life, all the while thinking I was a nice guy. And I wonder why this is happening to me and all this and all that. So it's amazing I've made it to this point, really, literally, as an action figure. And I wouldn't have unless I had heard this message, really. If I took this to be me, I would have overdosed. Yeah. I would have done anything to get out of this me. I would. I tried, and I did anything to get out of it. I overdosed on purpose many times with the hopes that for that second before the body died and I left, I would be free of self. It seemed like it was worth the cost just to have that moment of freedom. Yeah. So this is the easier, softer way for sure. Realizing you're not that, what showed up was acceptance for what I'm not. Yeah. Not a whipping into shape or demanding or cajoling. It was an acceptance. I accepted the blind spots and everything else. Yeah, I accepted that I am going to be a fraud. I am accepted of all of that. And it just became that whole irritability, restlessness, and discontent turned into an ease and comfort, you know, mind-boggling. So, yeah, thanks. Anyone else, or then we'll take off?
Yeah, Rom had a quick question.
Who?
Rom.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah, beautiful, Paul. I mean, I had a question and it kind of turned in on itself and turned into the answer. And I just want to bounce this off you to see if you have anything more to say about this, because it's very far out.
I probably don't, so just stay with the answer. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so, well, as this understanding goes in, as I listen to you, is this beautiful sense of just more and more ease and relief. It's like, fucking hell, that's not me, shit. And then I thought, well, who feels ease and relief? And that was the question. So then I really, to be with that, it was like, I was like, well, maybe it's the body and the nervous system freed of this parasite of a person owning all this shit. And then it went even like, oh my God, it's freedom itself. It's freedom.
Yes, you could say that, yes.
You know, this, wow, fucking hell. And then you know, I see this person idea coming along and trying to grab an understanding. And as you pointed out, it's just a movement of energy. It's not personal. It's just,
yes,
it's just empty. You can say like this. Yeah. So.
Yeah. The thing is, see, when it moves, it implies you moved. Yeah. So a lot of people want to stop the mind moving, but that doesn't work. You just see you're not moved by the mind.
It's like a wave. You don't need the wave to stop. Yeah.
But what it does is it implies you moved with it. And then it has an already pre-written story about what it's like to have moved from the source or whatever it's going to say. Yeah. And then it just, you could read the script. You've read it many, many times. And then, of course, it can't hold itself there. And then all the relief is there with no thought or effort on your part. And then maybe it says you've left again. And and after a while, you realize you're a train watcher, but you've never left the station. It's beautiful in a way. Yes? A lot of trains seem to leave the station, but the station never does. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. And then, man, you know, it's gonna dawn on you. You're always here. It doesn't matter what your head says. It doesn't have any power to take you from here and now. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I somehow this is very, very, it's viscerally quite powerful.
Well, then you better come back. It's working.
Come back.
Yeah, if it's working, come back. Shit,
this is the medicine of the moment.
Yeah,
So.
when I saw, I read this book by Ramesh, Who Cares? It was sufficient to motivate me to go to Bombay and check them out. Now, a month later, I wouldn't have gone to fucking, San Francisco to check them out. But at that point, I was willing to go to Bombay to check them out. So when when I was stoked, I put some logs on that fire. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So if things are working, man, let them work. Yeah.
The that book, is it Blaine Bardo who wrote that? It's for Ramesh's stuff. Was that a book of Blaine's?
No, who cares? I think Ramesh wrote it. Who cares? I don't know who wrote it in English, but he was the one.
Yeah.
I liked Ramesh. He was 85 when I saw him. That's the reason why I went. I thought he'd died. So I felt like I wanted to see him. And I went to where Raman Maharshi lived. I really wanted that place. And I didn't go with anybody. I just went by myself. And, you know, it was really cool. And then I came back and I never went to see him again. So, but yeah. Yeah. So I was such an incredible novel idea when I got introduced to it. Yeah, because so much that gets laid out is defined by the same tracks, but non-duality had an incredible novelty. I just loved it. I loved what was possible before it stated and after it stated. It's just incredible. So yeah.
You know, I've read it all, but there's something about the way you say it that is unique, and it's hitting it in a way, hitting here in a way that I'll just say it's really doing some work. So
well, there you go. Then that's the point. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when people say, "Hey, I really like hearing you," then listen to me. You know what I mean? That just makes sense. Should I listen to you? Well, if you like to listen to me, listen. Not a giant.
I wonder why I'm listening, and then suddenly it's like, bang! Oh, right.
Well, there you go. That's the point. We're just sharing. It's sharing with minds. Yeah. So, yeah, I find I'm happy to have the seat assignment because I'm completely indifferent. Truly. So.
I guess then any seat's just as good as any other seat.
But I mean, I have such a fondness for people here now. It blows my mind. I really like it. I've liked what's happened in time with this Zoom since we started, I guess, over a year or so ago. It's been amazing, you know. Yeah, I'm really stoked. Because of course your head is so small and myopic, it thinks it knows what it's like when it does something it never did, like Zoom. But you just show up and then you get this huge, just an unbelievable gift from it all. It's awesome. So I think I'll come back this week. Yeah,
Ready.
I think I will. Yeah, just to see the folks. All right. Well, thanks, Ron, so much. Thank you very much, man.
Always a pleasure.
Well, I have the book right here, and it is edited by a Blaine Bardo.
Oh, is it?
Ramesh asked him to compile and edit the teachings. So.
Oh, cool. I like the name, Blaine Bardo.
So when I went to Ramesh, I was actually
like a spiritual pornography, a spiritual porn name.
And it's Blaine with a Y, B-L-A-Y-N-E.
That's cool.
He's a far out guy. When I went to Ramesh, I was someone had sent me money to bring to Blaine in Bombay because I was in India, and I didn't want to meet Ramesh, but I had to go to Ramesh to give money to Blaine. And by the time I got to Ramesh's apartment, I was completely in a total no-mind satori without even talking to the guy. So I wound up spending several days talking with him. He was very far out.
Yeah, he was cool. Now, if someone gave me the money, I would never have gone to see Ramesh or Blaine.
That's why they gave it to me instead of you.
I couldn't safely assure I'd get it around the block, but that's good. Yeah. All right. Well, let's say goodbye. Eh? All's well.
Sounds good.
Let's see who's here today. We got Mike, as always. Nice to see you, Mike. Mike Z. Judith.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
My little Hawaiian halo. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
That's nice.
So I appreciate being here.
Oh, good.
Love it.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here. Yeah, for sure. Yes. And we got Kerry over there. He's going to be a Hawaiian sometime soon. Yes.
End of the month, Paul. I'm jumping off the cliff, free falling, trusting. I don't know what I'm trusting, but I'm doing it. I just watching myself make the move. So yeah,
great.
I'm waiting for you to come out and visit. Yes.
We will for sure. Amelia wants to go.
Sweet.
And I want to go. Yeah,
we can go body surfing.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah. All right. We got Peter. Nice to see you, Peter. Oh, here's Amelia. Peter, nice to see you.
I heard my name.
Nice. We got lovely Glenda. Always a pleasure, Glenda. Yes. We got Joseph. Yeah. He shed the name, what was it, Arjuna? He shedded the name of Arjuna. Yes. All right, Joseph. Nice to see you. We got Tarek from, should I say Tariq or Tarek?
Just Tarek, yeah.
Tarek. So Tarek from Dover, New Jersey. Nice to see you, Tarek.
Thank you so much.
We got Linda, as always. We got Robert F. from New Zealand. Always a pleasure, Robert.
Yeah, Paul, when we donate money to you, does it get to Paul or does it get to you, or does Paul take it?
Oh, let's see. It gets to Paul. Paul takes it and gives nothing to Paul. I think that's how it goes.
Good.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Robert.
Thanks, Paul.
Philip, as always. Philip, you are a citizen of the land before the butt. Yes. No butt shall enter this land. But. All right. We got Richard, my main man from London. Richard was is my handler. He handles all my London affairs. I don't know if he's of right mind anymore, though. I don't know if he can do it.
I'm not sure myself. Actually.
Yeah, so we may have to question Richard. Yeah, but we'll see him when we go there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Richard. We got Matt S. Nice to see you, Matt. We got Roman from what do you say, Matt?
Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, you're welcome, bro. You're always welcome. We got Roman from Germany. Nice to see you, Roman. Natalie, I don't know where she is now. Back in Austria? Yes, back in Austria. We got Matthew. He's in the East Coast. Yes, Matthew? Yeah. We got Tommy. He's a lighter shade of brown, I think. I don't know what color. I'm colorblind. We got John K. Always a pleasure, John. Let's see. We got Fee, Phi, Fo, Fum. Nice to see you guys. Yeah. We got Kenneth from Vancouver. You're staying in Vancouver now, Kenneth? All right, good. We got Julie. Where are you from, Julie?
I live in Southwest Florida.
Oh, nice to meet you, Julie. Nice to see you.
Nice.
I used to live in Coconut Grove down there.
Nice.
Down near Miami, yeah. In the 70s.
I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Exactly.
Probably everyone in Florida is from New York or Massachusetts.
Minnesota.
We got D, poet laureate, yes. Nice to see you, Ben.
Nice to see you, Paul. It was a good one tonight. Enjoyed it.
Oh, great. I'm happy for that. We got Ariane. Did I say your name right, Ariane? Yeah, good, good. We got Chris.
Can I say something? I
Yeah,
just want
yeah.
to say that I don't speak much. I love to listen to you, and I also the energy that comes from everybody. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful for this.
You're connected to the right frequency. Yes, you are. That's what's happening. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Chris,
Yeah, thanks.
Chris is he's sporting some interesting loungewear there. All right, he's looking stylish. We got Norman, one of my German brethren. Always a pleasure.
You, Paul.
Hey, Norman, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good to see you.
Thanks for what you do.
Hey?
Thanks for what you do.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure. Yeah, pleasure, truly. All right, we've got Rich A. Nice to see you, Rich. We got Ram. Ram, are you in New York, Ram?
I'm actually in the Algarve in Portugal for.
Oh, Portugal. Oh, yeah.
I've been here for 6 months. I'm going back to Cape Cod in May.
Oh, yeah. I love Cape Cod.
Come visit.
But not in June or July, no.
No, it's July, August sucks, but come visit. I got a big house. You can stay.
Yeah, I used to do talks in Cape Cod. I have, I like it there a lot.
All right.
Yeah, well, if I see you on this thing and we ever make a move back east, I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, that would be nice. Thank you. We got Jacob. Did a great job today, Jacob. I didn't know El Zoom would contact Atlantis there. We had Aquaman. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What came out of this for me was Jacob's only role is to show up. That's it. Show up to the art, show up to the talks. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you do. So much that that's all we do. Yeah.
Yeah. All else is noise.
Verena from Germany. Nice to see you, Verena. You got the fire going again. Yeah. Sweet. Mary G. Mary G came outside. Ah, it's nice. Nice, beautiful day.
Thanks, Paul. Loved being here. Thank you.
Great. We got Tim N. Tim is traveling lighter in spite of himself. That's good.
Yeah.
That's going to be the rest of the story, bro.
Yeah, let's hope there's some fun stories to come.
All right. We got Rachel. Nice to see you, Rachel. We got James from another Kiwi. Nice to see you, James. I have your lovely art with me. Thank you for all that. And thank your other friend, wherever she is. Yes? Say hello to her for us. We got Evandro. Nice to see you, Evandro. Who else is here today? Oh, Bernard. Bernard shaved. He's looking, he's got to go to a job interview on Monday, maybe. Oh, no, he didn't shave. I didn't see it there. He still has it. All right. He didn't get the job. We got Jim. We're going to talk to Jim at a later date. When Jim, we get the sound better. We got Jess. Nice to see you, Jess. In Ireland?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, Paul. Thanks.
Good to see you. Yeah. And Sarah. There she is. Pining away for the Greek Isles. I always say, if you were able to go once, you'll be able to go twice. Definitely. Yeah. We got, let me see. Oh, we got Johannes, another German bloke, another friend. Yes. We got Connor from Dublin. Nice to see you, Connor. We got, let's see, we got Eric from Toronto. Nice to see you. I think we said hello to Jess. We got Catherine and we got Deborah M. We got Lorraine and Mark. I think we already saw them. And I think that's it. Hey, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Paul.
What
Thanks,
a pleasure
Paul.
to share,
Thank you,
share time.
Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, see you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye. And there's a
Bye-bye.
meeting after the meeting, so there's a meeting after the meeting, so and it'll be great because I'm not gonna be there. That's how it works. I'll see you.
See you.